During October of 2022, I had the privilege to hunt a nice mature buffalo bull in the Nyakasanga safari area with CharltonMcCallum safaris. The preparation for this hunt actually started several months in advance, focusing mainly on fitness and marksmanship, doing a lot of walking and a lot of shooting. The aim was to take the buffalo with a James Wilkinson double rifle in caliber 470 Nitro Express, hand loaded with 500 grain Woodley bullets. The importance of really being competent with the rifles that you choose to go hunt with is something that is difficult to comprehend, because not only are you going to have people's lives in your hands, but as is customary on the first day of any hunt, you will shoot in these rifles, and the trackers will be standing there and really judging you and deciding how much trust they should put in you based on a mere two shots with each caliber. All hunting on this specific hunt was done by tracking buffalo, and unless tracks of suitable size and suitable freshness was found, obviously, we didn't pursue them. Most often, we were looking for tracks crossing roads or tracks leaving from natural springs occurring right at the escarpment, and you would simply follow these tracks. I absolutely have a despise for trekking in thick sand because it just wears you out, and especially in October, it was super hot. And once you've concluded a trekking exercise, whether you didn't find anything or whether they just gave you the slip, we would radio the truck to come fetch us, and sometimes the tracker had to climb a tree to get reception, and we would walk out to the nearest road where the hunting vehicle would collect us. Another very productive way to find tracks was to look at the perimeters of these naturally occurring pans, which would harness rainwater in the rainy season and keep it during the dry season. At some of these pans, we would actually find good lion activity where they would, on that first one where they ate in kudu, and on some of the other pans, we literally ran into lion just right on the edge of the pan. One of the really nice things of hunting on foot is that you'll run into some really spectacular things that you won't necessarily see while just driving. I mean, like these old baobab trees, which the elephants have gotten into, but leaving them with superior, character, and just amazing to hunt close to these trees. We also did run into an abandoned poachers camp with burnt out fires and areas where they had dried meat before. We also found a old baobab where they had stored some of their items, but it was empty by the time we got there. I hunted my buffalo on the sixth day of the hunt, and looking at the data from the apprentice professional hunter, uh, the least in distance that we walked on any given day was 6 kilometers, with the most spanning 17 kilometers in a day. And, it was amazing. On at least two occasions, we put in really good stalks, got up really close and personal with the buffalo, and eventually the wind would just turn and they would just explode and run away. It was also amazing just to recognize that they always liked these big baobab trees and the shade that they provide. They would always be on the shade side. So when tracking on approaching these baobabs, we'd be very, very careful, go very, very slow, and look very, very carefully into those shadows to try and find these buffalo. When stalking, we would sit flat on our bum and just use your hands to kind of move your body, your hands and your feet, just to lift your bum off the ground and just move a little bit slowly. It was very hot, and as you can see on my hand here, I burned myself 2 blisters on the sand while doing the stalk. Once the buffalo spooked, we had a quick post-mortem to discuss what went wrong and try to improve the next time. Knowing that it was very hot in October and that we'd be sweating a lot, drinking a lot of water, it was also critical to actually maintain adequate electrolyte balance. So we used a lot of liquid IV early in the mornings and at evening to replenish the electrolyte. It really is amazing how such a big animal as a buffalo can be hidden by very, very little foliage. If you look at this image in front of you, you can see on the left behind that just to the left of that thick stump, there's the buffalo's tail is flicking there. He's lying on his one side, less than 20 yards away from us. In this image, you can actually see his ear on the right flick as well, and then the tail on the left. But it's amazing how careful you have to be and how close, how quiet you have to move to get close up onto these animals. On day 6 of the buffalo hunt, we did our customary break for lunch after a 6-kilometer walk in the morning on the tracks of a group of 6 to 8 Daga boys, and found a lovely pan and set up our lunch tables there. And as was customary, we were going to take a quick nap, and my wife Alfreda said no, she was going to enjoy the elephant. 2 elephant bulls came in to drink water and absolutely enjoy the moisture and the mud in that October heat. So she wasn't going to sleep. She was going to just enjoy the wildlife at the water hole. And lo and behold, after a while, she had to wake us up. And it was quite a mission to get everybody woken up because a whole group of Daga boys had come in to try and drink at the water hole. Now, unfortunately, because we were there, the Daga boys wouldn't drink, and they started kind of skirting the pan, I guess, to kind of hit the road and go to another pan. So we immediately put a plan in place to kind of parallel follow them because the wind was really in our favor. It was blowing directly from the buffalo towards us. So if we could just stay to one side of them, we would definitely have an advantage, and we could kind of follow them in parallel through the bush. And that's really kind of how we started the buffalo hunt after the elephant had one hell of a play. And at first, one buffalo came in, and then more and more came in, and eventually we could see that this group was really worth our while to follow. We had only gone about 600-700 meters when we entered a really thick bush, and after about another 50-60 yards, Miles saw these bulls coming through in single file through a very small opening. He put up the sticks and said, "Okay, I'm going to glass them. I'll tell you which one is old, and then it's up to you. But you're going to have to do it within 3 steps." Because I'm going to check him on step 1, you're going to shoot him on step 2, on step 3, that shoulder's going to be out of that opening and he'll be gone. So he identified the bull, and I fired the shot, and then I guess then the trouble started because now everybody asks you, how did you feel about the shot? And you could really never be certain, I guess. But about 40 seconds later, we heard the death bellow, and the trackers were all smiles, and then we walked up to the buffalo, kind of took the tracks because it was really thick, and found him, and I opted to take a kind of an insurance shot, took the insurance shot, and then Miles let me walk up to the bull, and yeah, I think as hunters, it's our privilege to honor these animals once we've hunted them. And what a great bull he was. A really nice, mature bull, already started losing hair around his eyes and ears, nose full of warts, ears torn up, and nice old dewlap, very nice solid bosses, uh, and a decent spread, very nice drop in curl. And yeah, on looking at this bull from this side, you could see that I was really lucky with that shot. I mean, that was a perfect heart shot. Bullet placement was really ideal, and the 470 500 grain bullet did a stunning job on this buffalo bull. But yeah, nice mature bull, hard bosses. I couldn't ask for anything more. Really grateful that I could harvest this bull, and could have done it the way it was done, and with the people, that I could have with me, my wife, and the fine folks from CharltonMcCallum Safaris. So I'd like to highlight a couple of people that made this hunt very special. Miles McCullum for being the lead PH on this spectacular job. The trackers, especially the two gentlemen here, Morgan and Zviedzu, for hours and hours sticking to these buffalo tracks. The apprentice, Dave Mann, you do all the horrible jobs, but do it well. The British for giving us double rifles. And then Jeff McDonald, the guy from Woodley, making us bullets that we can take these old guns back to Africa, do with them, and do well what they were intended to do. Giving us high quality bullets to really safely enjoy safaris like yesteryear. And, the dear Lord for giving us these wild places and thick stuff where we can go and enjoy the things that make us happy. One guy I didn't mention was Paul, our driver, and he was critical to our success. Here he's actually chopping out a road on the recovery of this buffalo, and he's using a demo, which is a locally made axe in Zimbabwe. It's made from two pieces: the root of a mapani tree and the spring blade of a Toyota Land Cruiser. Very, very efficient tool, super, super sharp, and really better than an axe. We are enjoying some biltong, dried meat made from the buffalo. We also enjoyed the buffalo's tail, cooked like an oxtail. Here I had Morgan explain to me how he uses a flint to light his cigarettes, and asking him why he carries all this paraphernalia with him to light a cigarette, he said, well, it is virtually inflation proof. He doesn't have to buy anything, he doesn't have to do anything, and he can light a cigarette anytime he wants to. No matches to be bought, no lighters to be bought. Maybe wiser than we think. Thank you very much for watching, and may Nyakasanga yield many, many Daga boys for many, many decades to come.